Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Proving Grounds Pod, your one-stop shop for all things Proving Grounds. My name is Smax, and I'm joined today by my constant co-host, Cubby, as always. But today, we have a very, very cool guest with us today. We've got V1per, top laner for No Org, and Riven extraordinaire with us here, and his Cat Jam profile picture on Discord.
Big fan. We've got it all masked up, but V1per, thanks for coming on, man. It's good to have you, and congrats on winning Big League as well.
Yeah, thank you guys once again. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to get started with this.
Yeah, we're very excited too. We're a little bit starstruck, I think. That you're here with us. We've been fans for quite some time. Our good friend and co-host and co-host on Challengers Uprising, Raafaa, has been following you for a very long time.
Yeah, you made him one-trick Riven, and I've seen his mechanics.
He's a jungle player.
I've seen his mechanics. It probably wasn't good for his growth as a player, but yeah.
No, I'm really glad to hear it. It's always nice to have players, who've been watching me for a long time still continue to recognize that. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, it's been fun seeing you guys take heads in amateur this year. At least that's definitely kind of what's happened now once you guys have kind of melded together as a team, and it seems pretty dominant from the outside looking in. You guys have had some quick games and pretty clean wins, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I felt like we got slept on like really quick after getting out the first tournament, I think it was. But I was just surprised. Yeah, I mean, it happens. We lost a really unlucky series that, honestly, yeah, it was just like none of us expected for the results to happen. Like I blind picked Vayne during that series. It was game 3, and I blind picked Vayne. I literally blinded it. Like obviously we're not gonna win when stuff like that happen. These draft errors happens throughout most of our losses, pretty much. But I just wasn't surprised that the next tournament I knew we are just going to win once we fix these draft issues and our play and fix up the snowballing when it comes down to actual games.
Yeah, so speaking of your results, for those of you who don't know, you probably do, but in case you didn't, V1per on No Org, previously ANEW, they took 5th, 6th in Risen out of 32 teams, which is actually still pretty good. First place in Big, which is obviously a lot better. And then now you guys are undefeated in Challengers Uprising, looking to continue that streak. Also, a little fun tidbit that we threw in on the stream, your mid laner V1per is actually the defending champion of Challengers Uprising. So
two-time
that is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And first guest.
Yeah, so is Winter, though. So you and Barrage are going to have a feud at some point, I think.
Really?
To
it's like
dispute
that?
Yeah.
No, V1per has been putting in a lot of work, and he's just showing that he's showing everyone that he is deserving of that champion spot. So I respect it a lot. He's been a good teammate so far. He's been working very hard, and the results will come slowly.
Yeah, it seems to be ramping up very quickly too. I don't know why you're saying slowly. You guys just won Big League. You're ahead in the points, so it feels pretty good from where I'm sitting. But yeah, you mentioned V1per. We had him on for episode 1. Good friend of the show, good friend of us.
Yeah, we can always say that now with like all the returners, right? Friend of the program. That's the classic
exactly.
caster phrase.
Yeah, he's been around this team for a while, right? For around the amateur team, he's been
Yeah, we talked with him a little bit about the formation of your team, but I do want to hear it from you as well, because from the outside looking in, it did appear that this team was formed sort of with you in mind, like around that strong side top lane, because we know value comes from Maryville, where he has a lot of experience playing with that style in mind, as he was playing with Niles, first and foremost. So how was that sort of the goal that you were brought in as well? Did they tell you that coming into it, or is that just sort of like how you guys have adapted to playing together?
Yeah, that was like when they hit me up to join the team. That was like the thing that was mentioned, right? They're like, Value's very good at strong on weak side. You're gonna be playing strong side, and we're gonna see how it goes. But obviously, like that's not how the game works, right? You have to start playing. You have to start scrimming all the time and see what the best playstyle fits. Like, you know, we play towards top first, we play towards bot, we play towards mid, whatever it is. It's like we're gonna stick to it, right? And it seemed for our team that we're like, it's just too like it's too easy for us to snowball off top side, right? Yes, we can play towards bot. It's not like we can't. But the games are not as easy for when we snowball top and keep the lead going from that way. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that, you know, we can't play towards bot. But yeah, I think we're just a very strong, dominant team for when it comes to snowballing the game, in amateur at least, early game.
Yeah.
And teams have not had answers to it. It feels like I'm playing against a lot of newer players, right? Newer top laners. So it's like the playstyle that I'm playing against, the playstyle that I have, they're adapting too slowly, right? It's like expected for them to lose to it, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But it's like it'll be nice to see them improve against it, right? That's the thing, because it's there's answers to it.
I mean, they're gonna have to improve against it because, you know, like prepping for the broadcast last night that we were both on, I like the one stat that I pulled from Tim at Oracle's Elixir. God bless him for doing all the stats for this, by the way. But you had a 33 creep differential at 10 during the groups at Big, and I know that, like, you know, some of the teams you play in groups are gonna be a little bit weaker, but that is still an absurd differential. I mean, the next highest was 20. And I think it really shows not only in like your individual play so far, but also just like watching and of course, like when Fire is allowed to get a champion like TF, something that I really don't think he should ever be allowed to get an amateur because teams just can't deal with it yet. It looks really good for you guys. And I know that you kind of mentioned like coming together as a team from Big, or from Risen to Big. You mentioned draft issues specifically, and, you know, trying to figure out like how to play as a team. What was that process like for you? Because obviously you have 5 pretty experienced players. Like, saying that Value is probably the least experienced is, for amateur, he still has quite a bit of experience under his belt. But what has that been like kind of for your roster coming together as a squad in that process?
So just like draft wise or just everything?
Yeah, just like play like in general. Because like obviously, I mean, you guys have gone from being like brand new as a team at the start of Risen to now being like, you know, 4 weeks experienced, and your results have drastically improved throughout, right? So like kind of like how have you guys like been able to come together as a squad?
Oh yeah, so yes, we all pretty much have experience. There's like solo FIDA, you can say, compares to us pretty well, right?
Yeah.
They're all experienced players. They've played in LCS. Our team, only me and I guess Big T2 played LCS.
Yep.
But we've all didn't really have that much success in LCS, right? So we're using this, like we came to the realization in the first place, even before we lost, that this is our chance to like prove ourselves. This is our chance. There's so many games in amateur played that, like, for me, my biggest issue was like, you know, not enough games in LCS, and I had a lot of scrim success in LCS, just not when it came to actual stage games. Even during COVID, during when we played on stage, it was fine, but when everything became that we had to play from home, I started like choking more, playing worse. So this is my chance, even though it's amateur, it's my chance to like prove that I still got it. I still want to compete. I still want to be one of the best tops in the world, or in NA at least. So all of us are on the same page, right? We all just still want to be the best, even despite us being even not having so much success in the past. That's what we're working towards, right? Having more success and just seeing how it goes from there. We all have experience, and it was like a wake-up call for us once we lost the first tournament that this is unacceptable. You know, we're 5 veterans. We joined this org together, all of us in amateur, just to like show what we have, and like we can't be 6th place. We came here to win and nothing else.
Yeah. I believe we got that same sentiment from Fire when we talked to him. Of course, you guys, I don't believe you'd played a game yet, but he had his expectations very high going into it. And yeah, I mean, us watching it too, we were not expecting that you guys would have the struggles that you had going into it. We also were like, wow, yeah, these guys should be at the very top of the table, and that's finally coming through with Big League, so that's really cool. You mentioned that like you and Anda and Big all had you had some less successful LCS ventures and things along that line. Is this like sort of the revenge tour for you two, because that seems to be a common trend that a lot of our guests are coming into Proving Grounds and going to the academy teams and asking for revenge and saying, hey, you should have picked me up. We would have won with you, but now we're just gonna have to beat you.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly that. It's like, yes, we start off in amateur. I'm glad they made amateur that you can play against academy teams now. I don't know how that will go, but speaking from our scrims, like I don't think we've lost to academy teams before in scrims. It's like we beat the top teams in academy pretty much. And I'm just like I'm just looking forward to playing against them in the actual tournament. So it's actually our chance to beat the academy teams and then move forward from there.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. We got some scrim leaks here going on. I always like hearing about those.
No, I mean that's like no surprise, right? And I know like GGA even coming into Cup, like they just dropped 2-0 to Solafide yesterday. I'm kind of like curious like what your perspective is of like them dropping down. I think like personally I think it's really like a lot of props to like that team and coaching staff for doing that, because I mean they have a lot of really young players on that roster like Yunbi and Rosethorn, right, where this experience going up against teams like Solafide is going to be really good for them. But also like one thing that we were concerned about is like kind of community perspective, right, on academy teams dropping to amateur. Is that something that like kind of like speaking like from like an amateur team, like we fully expect you guys to kind of like beat up some of the academy teams, but do you think that like community perspective was like kind of like being in the shoes of like being an academy as well? Like is that something that like you're kind of like worried about for these teams coming on down, or do you think like overall like it's gonna be like pretty healthy, like just having that good competition?
I'm not sure exactly what will happen from community perspective, but I don't think it'll be as bad towards the newer players, because these are just newer players, trying to improve themselves in academy, trying to play as many games as possible. Like GGS Academy is playing more games, if you think about it, like than other academy teams, even though they're pretty much losing to another academy team. Like Solafia is you can say that they're probably top 5 academy, top 6 maybe, if they were to play an academy.
Yeah.
It's like same with us, same with Barrage. I think Barrage actually has a lot of potential. These two, us, Barrage, and Solafida, all of us could compete in academy for a top level.
Yeah,
I'd say so. Losing to these teams, I wouldn't feel bad if I was like GGS Academy. And like you said, props to them for even competing in this tournament. Because if I was them, I would refuse to. I think I would refuse to play in an amateur tournament and just want to like play against the better teams, I guess. But since they have newer players, it's just like a really good idea for them to compete and get better.
Yeah, that's like one thing that like coming from like broadcast perspective, like we really wanted to get ahead of, because like we kind of expected that result to come on through, right? Because there are, as you mentioned, some dynamite teams that we have here at the top tier of amateur that can take it to GGA on any given day, right? And they have a really young roster, and like they're developing nicely. They're going to improve really fast. But I know that like the last thing that like we want to see is like community kind of, hate on them because it's an academy team dropping games to amateur teams, because as Proving Grounds goes on, we're going to see that happen a lot more often, I think.
Yeah, actually that's true. That is the issue for younger players. It's like it's harder for I've experienced it, right? It's hard for someone to develop when the community is against you, right? When you're just getting bashed on pretty much. So if that happens to GGS, that's going to be a problem towards the players. I hope not. I hope they take it the right way.
Yeah, I'm the same boat as you. Big props to them for playing, and they look decent, right? Especially like for how young that team is.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't feel bad if I was them losing in this tournament, because they should use this tournament to improve, and I think that's what they're doing. Right? They're not using it to like win it all, expected to win it all since they're academy team. They should use it to just improve and do good in the actual tournament when it comes like the academy tournaments.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that you and Solafide and Barrage are the top competitors, excuse me, for Proving Grounds. How do you think that like the three of you guys are competing against each other? Like do you feel like you are having some really good competition with people like Pie Lord, like Dokla, or maybe like other people in Proving Grounds as well. I don't think you've played an official game against Maryville and Chippies yet, if I'm correct. But like how do you feel about like the top lane specific competition here in Proving Grounds and the amateur side of things?
Yeah, I think for top laners, I actually haven't had problems against anyone so far. Like even like 50-50 against players. Like I haven't noticed that. It's like more like 70-30 towards me. Like I think it's just because of the experience that I have compared to them. But it's like I feel like it's at that level, but it's definitely like the top laners I'm going against, like, you know, Lord, Dokla. Maybe they're individually not, you know, as strong laners, but they have their strong suits. You know, they have like better strengths than me. Maybe playing around their team, playing with their team, playing weak side. For example, playing Gragas top, playing all these other weak side champs. Maybe they have better experience than me, better champ pool. But yeah, just like Barrage, for example, I think that team is very strong as 5 players playing together. It feels like they're 5 friends just having fun and playing good. You know, they're consistently like playing pretty well, and I didn't expect that from their players individually, right? But they proved me wrong, and they've just been playing very well together.
Yeah, I think that I think the roster was like pretty well put together, right? When you have like Fnatic, Orica, PCL, who kind of play pretty crazy, and then you just have APA, who's like a second support with gold, and plays map fantastically well. I think that like they definitely have a style they've committed to, and they're really good at executing it. It's been fun to watch early. It's a little bit different compared to like what everyone else is going for, but it's an interesting take, and it's working.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that. That's what I want to see more with teams, just like working well together. And I think honestly, like playing against me, against the newer teams, it's gonna help them get to that level.
Yeah,
against the top laners at least. That's what I want to see for newer players. Just like playing against them so much, since there's a lot of games. Just like learning what to do in situations like that and stuff. Like situations where I'm just playing like an absolute monkey. Just like and in my lane level 4 every game. It's like I went through that. I went through like, you know, against Huni, against a bunch of other tops.
Yeah.
And I learned from them that way, and that's how I became like this. But yeah, I'm just glad that me and my team are showing results throughout this tournament, or especially me. I'm glad I'm showing results for myself, because yeah, I think I'm getting better when it comes down to stage games and stuff. It's become more consistent.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have learned from my experience playing like one-on-one games, like fighting games, Smash Bros. And the like, is if you really want to get better, you have to just get your ass kicked, because like you're just gonna get complacent and just sit there like, well, I'm pretty good. I can compete with these guys, but then like someone way better than you comes and like 3 stocks you, and just like, oh, I do suck. I am the worst, as it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's completely fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
You will get to that point where if you really work hard, put your mind to it, and actually learn from your opponent instead of be like, oh nah, just a bad game.
Yeah.
You can actually you can get better really easily.
I'm kind of curious because like you're hitting a lot on like kind of like stage games and mindset, like coming in, and how like more reps is, you know, helping you improve. Like as a player like who has like sat through a lot of stage games throughout, you know, your career, and a lot of the talent you're going up against hasn't. Like what are some of the things that like you really try and work on, whether it is like skills or reps or just like mindset going into those that you feel like have helped you had success or increase your chances of having success when those games do come around?
I think mainly just having the pregame routine is very important. Like whatever it is, maybe wake up, you know, workout, whatever, go for a morning run, play some solo queue, warm up with solo queue, whatever it is. That stuff's pretty important. It may just sound like it's like not that big of a deal, but I think it's actually very important to have that be a consistent thing for a player. Just like whatever they do before their games, every player has their own thing. In LCS at least, it was like pretty common where players just do their own thing before games, before going on stage, listening to music, anything. I think that's very important. And just like trying to trying to make your habits, like make your scrim habits there for when you go on stage. I think those, just think about that a lot of times. Like don't autopilot. Small stuff like that is just important. I noticed. I autopiloted a lot. I didn't really think about my matchups. Didn't think about my lane. Didn't really do much for my routine. Didn't play solo queue before our games, and that affected me a lot.
This leads me to a very important question, V1per. So,
I know it's not. I'm laughing because I just know it's not going to be serious. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? Of course this is serious.
I know you too well, Smax. All right, continue. Well, you're going to make me laugh again here in 5 seconds. Let's hear it.
So Solafide, we had Tuesday on the show, and he told us that the Solafide guys, their warm-up game is Bloons Tower Defense 6. And we know that the Barrage warm-up game is Howling Abyss. They play ARAM. Is there a game that you guys on No.org play to warm up together as a team?
Actually, if there was a game, it's ARAM sometimes, but it's like we did it like once or twice, you know, not that big of a deal. One time actually we did a custom ARAMs against Solafide. It was so
Let's
I
go.
don't know why. We didn't have time for a scrim game, so we're just like, yo, custom ARAMs, why not? Let's all just hop in, invite, and we did that one time. So it was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
But usually we don't have a game. No, not a consistent one that we just all play together. Yeah.
Are you worried that the team synergy and the power of friendship that Barrage and Solafide have by playing ARAM and Bloons Tower Defense 6 together will overtake you guys in the end because you guys don't have the Kumbaya friendship circle moments that they do?
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that at all. We'll be fine regardless. I think me and Enda have a very strong synergy compared to everyone else, so it won't be a problem when it comes down to actual games against them.
Okay. All I'll say is that like a karaoke night together, that's some powerful stuff. So you guys
now you're throwing in like the caster secrets here. Good old Raafaa karaoke night. Yeah. Oh man.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
All right. I told you it'd be important, Cubby. I don't know why you didn't believe me.
All right. The warm up games are if someone's a ballooners, that's the most important thing for Smax. As Smax did buy everyone that game for like $1 at Christmas, so now we're all ballooners.
What are you guys, ballooners? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
yes.
the Bloons Tower Defense 6. If you play it, you're a ballooner. So yeah, okay. We're just inflating our elo as we go. We're just ballooning.
It's a good game. Yeah. Oh, nice, because inflate. I get it. That's
there we go.
Yeah, I just haven't heard the term before, a ballooner. But I like that.
Yep. Welcome to the club. All right. So to get back to League of Legends stuff, you mentioned that you're feeling like the Proving Grounds matchups in top lane are like 70-30 in your favor. You're feeling really confident against those guys, and a lot of it is because they are new players and things like that. How are you feeling going against the Academy top laners once you do get to that aspect of the Proving Grounds? Like we're seeing some veteran guys come into that scene. Lorla, for instance, I believe you guys actually were teammates at one point over there on Dignitas where he is. And like some of the top laners there from like other regions coming in, like Tapoon. Are you like excited to go against a lot of those guys, or like how are you feeling about those matchups?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited. Lorlo, you know, there's Hanser, there's a bunch of other like really good tops. Even like, don't get me wrong, like Dokla and Pakilord are both really great top laners, and it'll be the same. I'm excited to see them play against Academy tops, you know. But against these veteran tops, I'm just very excited to, you know, I'm gonna show Lorlo why I was starting in LCS. I'm showing what's up.
Hey,
you gotta keep the dominance over your old teammate there.
Yeah.
No,
I respect to a lot of the Academy tops that are playing right now, and I'm just excited. Like that now that I have my confidence back, I'm showing results. I'm just I want to keep this up. I'm just hoping I keep this up for the time that the Academy tournament comes. So to show them, you know, what I've got.
Yeah. I know that you mentioned like before we hit record, just the fact that like you have played so many stage games, and now, you know, kind of talking about like, getting your confidence back. Like, It seems like that some of the players who, like the talent that we usually expect to be in academy, like a lot of the roster that you have with No Org or Solafide, like it's kind of interesting talking to them because they're all like amateurs refreshing. And it seems like you kind of have that mindset as well. Like what's been like the good parts for you so far with competing in this wacky format where you literally don't get a day off besides today?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I actually didn't want to compete at all this year.
Oh, okay.
I had the mindset to just be like, I want to take time off. I had a really bad year last year, right? It was my worst year ever in competitive. So I'm like, I need a break. I need a break from competitive. I need to change my mindset about things. I just need it'd be good for me to take this break. So or ANEW, which is no org now. They hit me up very, very late towards like a couple days before the season started, with a pretty good offer with really good teammates options. Like I heard, and mainly he's the one that I knew that I wanted to play with.
Yeah.
They hit me up with that, and like right away I decided that I want to join the roster. I liked the potential that the players had. I heard a lot of good things about Fire. Value, same thing. I knew he was a strong weak side player. I wanted to see if I can help him improve and become a strong side player. So all that adding up, it was nice that I got this offer at the end of the day, even despite me wanting to take a split off. So I wanted to use this offer in amateur to just to change the mindset pretty much, and yeah, play more games, I guess. Play from home. I don't have to move out, but playing from here, right? It'd be nice being with my family and stuff. So that's what I'm thinking about mainly, just fixing up the mindset that I have.
Yeah. That's really interesting to hear. And hey, it's been fun watching you compete so far and take some names in amateur. You also mentioned family. Obviously, your family is a little bit unique because your little brother also
the Riven gene.
Yeah, your little brother's also a hell of a talent up and coming as well. And I think one of the reasons that we don't have a camera here is because he's actually using it to stream right now. So I'm curious, do you guys like have like any like 1v1s decide like who gets the camera or like who gets like the better internet here? What's it been like kind of being back with him?
Yeah, he actually always asked me to do 1v1s a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I don't usually do it most of the time because he needs to fix up the trample. Still not there. It's like, yes, we can do Riven 1v1s and stuff, but like he already does that with other players, so he doesn't need me for it. But when he does want to improve on other champs when the time comes, he can always hit me up. He knows I'll be there to help him with it. But no, it's really cool having a brother to just, I guess, play games with, compete with, just everything. He's 14, he always makes fun of me, old guy, he calls me old guy, old man. But he still loses 1v1s every time we play. So it's pretty nice. We also have another brother, his twin. He's actually also very good at the game.
Oh wow.
He's master tier right now, or grandmaster. Sorry, he's almost making his way to challenger, almost there. So he's also on the come up. So that's he's a Yasuo main. So that's also nice.
That's you know what, now that you mention that, I remember that. So you've got something in that gene pool over there. You just got 3 crazy league players.
Yeah. We're just all league players, I guess, and I'm just excited to have them play and like eventually, like I'm probably coach or something. I still want to play in LCS. Obviously, I still want I want to compete in LCS, and I think by the end of like this year, I will be in LCS. But like when the time comes, I want them both. Like when they're 17, they're still 14. When they're 17, I want to be like coaching them, help them develop as players, and that's what's gonna happen.
That's cool. That's really cool. Obviously, a really unique situation too for you. So it's kind of fun having all those definitely unique that you guys can like actually somewhat push each other, right? And you can kind of mentor as well. That's really unique.
Yeah, definitely, exactly, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
Actually, Sniper was supposed to join C9 amateur, but things didn't work out. Yeah,
we kind of caught wind of that with Griffin as well, but they were too young to be in the contract database.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been awesome to play against them in amateur, but still, they're not allowed to compete anyways. It's like 15 over, right? 15 plus for amateur.
Yeah, it is.
We're just gonna have to wait one more year to see those two unchained because they're both pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been poking fun at Griffin a bit over the like last few months or so, because I used to cast him when he was like super smurfing in a diamond league. This is like a year ago. And I told everyone, like, he's way better than diamond. Why is he playing in here? And then the season ended and he immediately hit challenger. I was like, I told you guys.
No, that's yeah. They're so young actually, and the talent is there. It's just it's crazy to me how young they are and just being so good at the game.
Yeah, I was nowhere near that good when I was that old. But I do know that like you have been challenger for like almost a decade now, which is pretty crazy. And like obviously like through that people learned who you are from like the solo queue ladder, from like how good you are at Riven specifically, and then eventually streaming too. How did you like really get into like climbing and being like really competitive in League of Legends, like when you did start out, and like how did that like push you and to like transform you into like what you are today?
Yeah, actually, I have been playing the game for a long time, and it's always weird to me thinking about that, like how players are consistently challenger, playing this game for so long, how you adapt to every meta, no matter what it is. It's easy for us to adapt at this point. Like, you see how many changes the game has. You see how many changes we've been through. All the players have been playing for that long, obviously. So it's nice to know that it's easy for us to pick up new champs, to just play any meta there is, anything. It's nice. But yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, what was the main question?
Oh, it's okay. So
come on,
no,
Smax,
it's totally
be
fine.
a better host.
I'm sorry.
We each got one bad question.
So how did you like get into the game initially, and how did you get into streaming from there, and then like competitive esports from there, and like so on after that?
Okay, here's the thing. I actually, like, not many people know this, but I wanted to stream forever, like, season 2, season 3, I think it was when I started coming up.
Yeah.
My PC was really bad for streaming, but I was really good in solo queue, right? People knew about me. People knew I was like one of the best Rivens. People knew I was young, like I was 16 or 17, I think, and I was coming, like, my talent was there. I was an upcoming talent. I guess Scara in my game, Scara in my solo queue game, we play against each other, and I just win. I solo carry the game. We win in 20 minutes. I was playing Riven, I think. Scara adds me. He adds me. Like, I was like, whoa, it's Scara. Holy shit, he's a pro player.
Yeah.
He's so famous. He adds me. I was actually a big fan of him. He adds me. He's like, hey. He just randomly asked, like, if he can buy me a PC. He saw my talent. And he knew right away that he wants me to develop. He wants to help my development. So he's like, hey, choose which PC you want. This is your budget, because I couldn't afford it back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that. He knew that. And it was the randomest thing I've ever got. Like, why is this happening to me? It was like crazy. And not many people know this, like I said. But like, he's a big reason to why my development started. He bought me a PC. I started streaming a lot with it. I didn't only stream with it though. I actually boosted as well. I was doing a lot of boosting because I was just doing anything to make money, right? At the time.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the initial goal. That's the thing I was disappointed about.
The
initial goal Scar wanted me to do is like stream and become a really insane top laner at the same time and go pro with it. And that was my goal. But yeah, it's just cool of him to do that for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up paying him back. Like, he didn't really expect me to pay him back, but I did anyways, right? But I did it like 4 years later, 5 years later. Maybe.
That's cool.
It's like, it's after a long time. Yeah. But no, it's just a really cool thing that inspired me to do that to other players too. But now my brother's there, so that's who I'm doing it to. So
yeah, you get to pay it forward through that. I never heard of that. What I think I remember, the first look that I like really remember of you was, I forget who hosted it, but there was a Riven 1v1 tournament that was streamed, and I think that you won. You might have to like fill me in, or maybe Smax, but
No, I never participated in any.
Oh, you never? Okay, Smax. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the Riven 1v1 tournament?
Maybe Mega Zero you're thinking about? Mega
Oh
Zero.
yeah, Mega One. Mega. Yeah, you know that Team Marin stood for Mega's Riven's Nasty, right? Back then.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, that's what it stood for. No, he was a really good Riven player, but yeah, I remember, I forget who hosted it, but there was like a big, that was like back then, like people would like host like 1v1 tournaments like a champion, and that would like get like a ton of viewers on Twitch. They'd have like a 5K prize pool. It was like a big thing, but like 30,000 people would watch, which back then was huge.
I remember those tournaments. I just actually never participated in them. Literally never was in these tournaments. I don't remember why at the time, but like I just remember never being in them, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Oh man, I hadn't heard of Mega Zero in a long time. I remember that Team Marin was that was a weird situation. Like beginner LCS season 3.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of teams like that participated. Yeah. It's nice to hear about now.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, no, that's a really cool story with Scara. Obviously, now it's good that you got 3 people in your house streaming, and doing pretty well in solo too. Yeah, it's not bad.
Now it's me. You know, I bought them their PCs like last year. It was.
That's a good big brother there. Yeah.
I guess you gotta ask Scar for a webcam though, because Sniper keeps doing yours.
Yeah, I can afford a PC, but can't afford a webcam. Yeah,
dude, they're actually so expensive. I'm sure you're joking about
actually,
that,
not as bad as PCs right now.
Well, sure.
Like, there's a chip shortage. PC prices are through the roof. It's actually brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I've noticed. I actually just bought a new PC myself, for home, and they are actually. I usually don't build my own. I just buy one. You know, see the really good specs, insane specs, and I just get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm too lazy to build my own, but usually, yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, I just get worried I'm gonna break it. That's what I get worried about.
We're putting together a like pitch presentation actually over at Challengers Uprising to like give the teams and players about like helping them brand themselves. And it's like gonna be me and Kelsey Moser like pitching it, and we had to like put together a couple PCs like for part picker. And we're just like, these are crazy expensive at the moment because there's the international chip shortage. It's actually brutal.
Oh yeah, is that what's going? Is that why they're expensive?
Yeah, there's just like really short on chips, like microchips. So yeah, it's it's really interesting. So
yeah, definitely.
Sounds like Scar invested in the right stocks though, because that's through the roof now.
Viper stocks to the moon.
$sign VPR.
I did end up in LCS. Honestly, that's what mine is. I ended up in Academy first, and then went to LCS. So that was nice. You know, at the end of the day, yes, I boosted. I wasted a lot of time, but I did, achieve the goal that was meant to happen. Yeah. Even though it was a lot of years later, it still happened. So I'm glad for that.
Yeah, and you were on Dignitas for a bit, which is Scar's old team. So full circle.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Yeah. So I did have a question about like your old teams and stuff. Because you've been around the scene for a while. You were on Team Liquid, Academy, and then FlyQuest, and then Dignitas. All these teams. You mentioned that like you, alongside your other teammates that have been to LCS, have had like middling success. Hasn't been like exactly what you were hoping for. Do you feel like more comfortable now that that has happened, and now that you're on sort of like a team that is built with you being strong side in mind, or like how do those experiences compare for you, like in your experience?
Yeah, that's the thing on the teams like FlyQuest. Like my strong suit wasn't my weak suit was pretty much playing really slow games. Mm-hmm. These were LCS games, right? We go in scrims. I do good in scrims pretty much all the time. We snowball pretty well. I win my lead. I win top lane. We play towards me. We go on stage. The games are so much more slower, and that was like what I was bad at. I felt like where really slow games where every decision matters. Literally every decision matters. Every objective matters. Like dragon fights, you have to play fights really well because the game's 0-0-0, right? Like the score is 0-0. No one got a single kill. So every decision, like I'm used to playing from ahead usually. So when I don't get ahead, yeah, it's just the game becomes a lot slower, and these decisions I just choke in, right? And that's what happened a lot on FlyQuest and Dig. But also, it's like when we go on stage, it's not like we don't play towards top as much. It felt like on both teams. But it's obviously because of my calls too, right? That got a lot better now. I feel like that's what I wanted to use it for, just to more consistent calls and just being decisive, knowing what you want, know when to dive. Like if you notice now, we literally punish every top on every wave pretty much. If their wave is bad, if their wave's pushing towards me, I can just freeze it and they get ganked on. If the wave is like, if I stack a wave to dive, they will get dove on that wave. It's like it's a consistent thing, and that's what I wanted to get better at. And
it's been fun to watch. You guys have been speedrunning teams. Your average group times in Big was 25 minutes and 48 seconds for like that was your average game time. The only team that was faster was the one that was actually getting a sped run. That was Illinois State. So, yeah, no, you guys were actually speedrunning it big. Yeah, so it was good to see, and obviously like, a lot of those punishments like are coming from the top lane, from you and your team playing well around waves. Also, we haven't mentioned Big, but Big also is really good at roaming up to impact your lane as well, which I've noticed, and that's really cool to see, as definitely something that supports are lacking down here in Amateur is like impacting the top side of the map early.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Big is always there on like again stacked waves. He just works well around top lane, and that's the thing I also wanted to get better at, just being able, like he's usually good at that, just knowing when he should be there, when to roam. He always asks me, hey, what do you need for your lane? What do you need for your lane? And that's been helping a lot for just working well with the support, because that's what I feel like a support's job can be. If he's winning his lane, if his lane is stable bot, he can just run top and like help snowball the lead that's going on already.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think like the format for like proving grounds and amateur like definitely plays a role into that? Because like you guys have so many stage games, like it feels like teams are a lot more willing to take risks, because if you lose, you just play again tomorrow, right?
Yeah, definitely. That I think so. Like for this uprising tournament or cup, it's cup.
Yeah, either or, you're good. Yeah.
So many of them,
Yeah.
Yeah. For cup, we've just been using it to like test stuff, test picks, test. Like we don't know what's good. We're playing on a new patch, so we haven't scrimmed. That's the thing. We literally haven't scrimmed in like a week, maybe even longer, just because of the way the schedule is. So we don't get any scrims recently. But we're just using it to try out stuff. Not really like to win. Yes, we're still winning. We're still winning games in 20 minutes, 25. But we're just figuring out what the best picks are, because everything changed with jungle. Not really top. I still pick Gnar every game. I still pick Renekton. But other picks we're still like a little confused about and what's best.
Yeah. It was a wild patch, and it looks like they're going to be changing jungle camp XP. So the next patch is going to be even crazier. So yeah,
they're holding back a little bit, but
yeah, we're getting nerfed. It sucks.
It's true.
It's all good. Jungle will always be OP. I'll always say that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's just how it works.
Sejuani's back, baby. I can play the role again in solo queue. That's all that matters.
Getting buffed?
But
no, but just like the nerf gold and XP. That's always my joke. Sejuani's back.
But good news. That means Elise is also back. So
true.
You've got that. Even
Elise,
after she got nerfed 7 times.
That's actually true. If Sejuani and Elise are back, that's my favorite type of meta. But we'll see.
That's the true top dive coming on through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you that tidbit to share with Anda, see how he likes it.
He loves it. Yeah, I know he loves it. He loves that.
Hey, you guys pulled out Elise yesterday.
True. Yeah. I watched him play some solo queue after that, and I'm not even kidding. It was like 1 minute 30. He started like clearing everything. 2 minute 30, he's 4-0.
Like what?
Yeah, go back and watch the VOD.
What was that solo queue game?
Was he Elise?
I don't know. Yeah, he was Elise. Yeah,
he's crazy with Elise. Actually,
he's crazy.
He gets leads like that. Like, so he's really good at looking at his map and recognizing what lane that he can play towards, and that's why like I knew right away when Ando was on this roster that I can just play however I want. I can play my playstyle, and he's gonna be there to like back me up and just help me snowball. And that's why I really like playing with Ando.
So how would you say, because it sounds like you guys are working really well together, you and Andy, you and Big as well. How would you say your team has formed together to suit your champion pool that you've been pulling out? Because we've seen a lot of Vayne, less so now, because you're not blind picking it anymore. Which we prefer also as spectators. We like sprinkling it a little bit, but we we want to see you guys succeed. But the Vayne, you've got the Riven, of course, and your Gnar has been super sick, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
As an aside, Cubby and I have been talking about this a lot. We think you guys play with Gnar like the best of any team.
Yeah, no, you're the best Gnar that we have so far in amateur. It's like not close.
Oh, yeah, how do you guys like? How is your team playing around your champion pool?
Yeah, so I actually like a lot of these I'd like to call, I guess, like, or my team likes to call ego picks, like, you know, the Vayne, the weird stuff that's being pulled out top. I don't pull it out as much anymore. It's like I want to just be really insane at meta picks, like, you know, such as Renekton or whatever it is. They're good for our team. I realize they are really good picks for our team. Like when we drop a game, usually, I just know that I need Gnar, Renekton, Aatrox. These are like the most picks that I know will just like impact the map most. Whereas if I pick like a selfish pick, like more, you know, Vayne, it's like it's not, it's like just, it's really selfish, you know, it's just playing for myself. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's caring about myself, looking good for myself and not looking good for my team. Right. And that's why we cut down on that a lot. And I realized it too. It'll come back, like, you know, I'm still gonna play these types of times. It'll come back for sure, but when the time comes, you know, clearly not blinding Vayne. I'll still play Vayne. People know I play it now, so they're gonna ban it when they want to blind pick a champ. People know to ban Riven. These are picks that are there just for people to ban, you know. And if they don't ban it, yes, they can accept the loss. That's up to them.
You remind them why they ban it.
Yeah, exactly. I remind them why they ban it, and then they ban it.
Out of curiosity, one of the top lane, I know it's like very matchup dependent, like specifically into Renekton, but it seems like you like to play the Vayne into Renekton more than Quinn, which is kind of like the traditional counter. Do you have like a specific reasoning behind that, or like is there something like the matchup like you play differently than others, or do you just think that like is that like just personal preference?
Yeah, I actually think like I'm asking a lot of top laners, a lot of junglers, like LCS junglers. I still talk to a couple of them, right? I'm still very close to a couple of them. And they're telling me, they're like, yo, stop this Vayne pick. What is with Vayne, dude? Just play Quinn, please. They're like all getting triggered, right?
Yeah.
I'm Quinn can't stealth.
I've played against Quinns, right? People have played Quinn against my Renekton. And it just looks bad every time. You fall behind as Quinn, you can't play the game. You fall like whereas Vayne, yes, you can mess up one time, die one time. You can still like, you know, scale well, win the 1v1. No matter what, you will win the 1v1 against Renekton. Whereas Quinn can't do that. And I think Vayne can like pressure really well. But no, Quinn is a champ that's there for me. It's not like, you know, I'm not picking Quinn. Quinn is there for when Vayne is banned, right? People don't know that. But, like, they won't know that. I've been playing Quinn, right? It's ready. It's definitely ready.
We're gonna check your solo queue accounts. We don't know if we're just scaring people into banning more stuff against you.
There's a reason people don't blind, like, you know, champs like Gnar and like Renekton against me. You don't see that. You literally we haven't seen that ever since like a long time. People have just either been blinding tanks like Ornn, Shen, or what's the third one? Like Aatrox. These are literally the only three people will blind pick. Otherwise, it's people know what's coming. And for the Gnar, to touch down on that, I actually played Gnar one time in scrims like before. I haven't played the champ in a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
I played a one game in scrims and I inted very, very hard. And it just like, I wasn't happy about it. You know, I'm like, wow, this is unacceptable. Like my Gnar was good. What happened to it? So I kind of gave up on the champ, and then like I didn't want to give up on it. I wanted to just become one of the best Gnars again, and just like, because I'm good at range tops, right? So Gnar was one of the champs that I wanted to also get good at. So I just spammed it really, really hard and just got to where I'm at with it. I do think I'm one of the better Gnars right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not allowed for Cup, but will we see the Viego when he is allowed?
Oh, that's actually a champ I have not played yet. I have not started spamming yet, but like playing against tops, Viego and solo queue and whatnot, I don't think it's actually that insane top lane. I think it'll be a strong jungler, possibly. But we're just gonna have to see. Like obviously, I'm gonna play it and see where it stands. Yeah.
You can stat check it pretty hard top lane.
Yeah. The main draw I think it's actually best mid, because the main draw is that you don't have a mana bar, so you just keep like clearing everything. And if you run like Fleet, then it's pretty free for a lot of mid matchups. But then again, you could just play Nocturne, and I think it's better. But that's
definitely
that's something else wacky. Something that I think is really weird is that you can't use your dash over a wall. I don't know why they did that.
Oh, Vigo's dash?
Yeah, you can't W over walls, like not even the really thin ones.
Yeah, I actually haven't, like, I barely know his abilities, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't, because he's disabled, right? So once he's ready, that's when I put my mind to it and just figure him out. But yeah, I have played against him. I know he has a stealth. I know he has a CC thing, like something that stuns. Does he have a stun? He has a stun, right?
Yeah, so his W is basically like Vi charge punch, the Vault Breaker.
Oh, okay. Is it like a skill shot or?
Yeah, it's a skill shot.
Okay.
You can just like tap it and it'll insta stun. Like it'll just like shoot the thing and
I got
a little dash. But it's very similar to Vi Q.
That's the thing that you're like you can't dash through walls with.
Yeah, you can't go over walls with it. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's really similar to Vi Q. But that's how that is. All right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. What's up, Kobe?
So you're off the Viego train now. Honestly, it's just the best way to practice League of Legends is play Viego. You get to play all the champs.
True.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Really true. Yeah.
Everyone has to be a full player now.
Champ.
Yeah.
Now I can finally fulfill my ultimate goal in League of Legends and click random like I do in Smash Bros. I can just play Viego and then I just get all the other abilities and then I just get to randomize that.
Cut everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for telling me about Viego. I really needed to know that.
I'm just excited for it to be enabled, honestly. It's just a fun champ for the game, you know, like
he's cool.
Every new champ is just fun for the game. I feel like it makes it more interesting. That's just what I love. Just like meta shifting, meta changing new champs. It makes it so exciting.
Oh,
they've definitely really tried to push new mechanics with the new champs as well. Which I think is sometimes like I'm worried about like skill creep, and like sometimes you get kits like Senna, which I just think are like illegal, but also it does keep the game interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Speaking of
Senna, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Speaking of new champs though, because I'm a sport man, because Cubby's a sport man, we're curious. How much are you guys playing Rel? Because I think Rel is super broken.
Oh, Rel. Oh. I actually played 2 solo queue games yesterday. Okay, after our matches, I queue up for 2 solo queue games. Both of them, I'm against Rel. I don't know why he's not on my team or she's not on my team, but it's always against me, and I just can't move. Like the champ has so much that I just cannot. I'm playing Aurelia. How can I play the game?
Oh yeah,
it's literally tanky Rakan. It's so nuts.
Yeah, like if you're a melee champion into Rel, it is actually just unplayable.
That's exactly what I noticed. 2 games of Aurelia in a row against 2 Rels, also in a row. Like I lost my mind. I won both games, but I was losing my mind. You know.
Yeah.
You gotta tell Big about that so that you guys can start playing it, because I'm sure you guys are already trying it a little bit.
Yeah, we played it one game. We played it one game actually in one of our cup matches. We literally just blinded it. Yeah, Big's like, we misclicked it, by the way. We misclicked it, and Big's like, whatever, it's fine. I'll just play it. It's okay. I have some games on it. It's all good.
We're good. That's
awesome.
Really funny. Yeah. It is like all the CC it brings to the table. Like if you're a melee, especially like Aurelia, like. Yeah, it's actually just unplayable into Rel. Like it's the champion's absurd. Especially like if you pair it with stuff like Twisted Fate, like a Twisted Fate Rel comp. Like if you have any melee carries into that, it is not a fun time.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's why that's what I realized playing.
It's brutal.
Okay. So I've got one more like big topic that I wanted to talk to you about. And it is sort of like I guess it's like a tradition for this show now, because we do it every time. But I wanted to ask you about like how you feel your branding is as a player and a personality. obviously, as compared to the other people that we've had on the show, you actually have like a really big stream, and you've had that for years and years. And of course, there's the LCS and there's the Academy tenure that you have too. I'm curious about where you think your branding lies right now, and how Proving Grounds is really affecting that, like you participating in these tournaments and things like that, like how you feel that is working with you or maybe even against you.
Yeah, so people like I've been watching, VODs of our games and stuff, and I see a lot of, like no one's gonna hear a V1per after like because I'm an amateur, right?
Yeah.
People still think amateur is just there to like just like for fun, you're just there for fun, not really to develop and like go to the next step. But that's not true at all, I'm not done yet. I want to keep pushing. I want my branding to like go further than what it is. I think my branding is mainly like just really good at Riven. That's like the main thing that in LCS, exactly, in LCS especially, and my stream obviously. Like you go to my stream, you watch me in LCS. People look forward to Riven. That's about it, right? People want to watch Riven. Not as much my stream anymore because they've seen like how good I am on other channels. They understand. Even other top laners, they like LCS top laners. They know that I'm pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But just the community and where my branding stands in that, it's like just Riven player, pretty much. Really insane at Riven, and that I want to push more than that.
Yeah, I know that's been something like we've actually had difficulty with like combating too, as like people that are on air. Like, I mean, even last year, like when they didn't break down the wall between amateur and academy, 13 out of the 20 players that attended scouting grounds like still ended up moving up. You had players like Niles and Iconic going from collegiate to LCS. Obviously, budget restraints were part of that, but also they've looked okay so far, like starting off for how young they are as players. And now we have players like you and Zazel competing down here that have a lot of pedigree and are going to take a lot of games off of the academy rosters. I think that it's like definitely something like we've been trying to combat, and it's been really interesting to see. I'm hoping that narrative like starts to change as like we go on, but definitely something like has been a challenge for us. Like, how do we kind of, paint this into light? Because I mean, you guys like have every right as any other player competing in amateur to like try and move up if you're playing well and deserve it. And hey, so far, I mean, you've been crushing it. So it's been really fun to see.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last thing I want, is like for us, for my teammates especially. Like if I see a player that like isn't trying or isn't like taking practice seriously, isn't like just like there for money, pretty much, just there for that's the last thing I want to see and become, pretty much. Like we're all not done yet, we're all even like Soul and Fida, yes, you might think the same thing. 5 veterans, it's like, yes, they're there to just smash amateur, but like that's the expectation. But we all still want to compete and we all want to be top tier players, so we all have the same goal, and it's just about reaching it. And for me, I'm for sure not done yet.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I'm really happy to hear that, and hope that you keep on taking names too in amateur, as it's been really fun to see your team kind of go from. It looked like you guys just weren't coming together yet for Risen, and now that you have, it's been really fun to see you guys just kind of dominate the other teams, and other teams have got to start taking notes and stepping their game up to compete. It's what it looks like. Yeah,
definitely, and I hope that's the case. I want game 5s. I don't want teams just losing 3-0, 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just excited. I'm honestly so excited. I think we're gonna keep continuing dominating amateur. We're gonna keep it up. I don't see us falling down to any team, honestly. Mm-hmm. But obviously, it could happen. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be more excited. It'd push us harder to like we're already pushing really hard right now ever since our loss. But like we can take on anyone pretty much right now. It feels like just like a quick 3-0. But we'll have to see anyways.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see it too. I was very like I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say surprised, but like going into the finals, I was like, I watched the game 1. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a 3-0, isn't it? For big league, and I was like, oh, this is 3-0, and then game 2 happens, like, it's a 3-0, and then game 3 happened. I was like, yeah. I mean, this is what we expected from these guys in January, but like,
Yeah, that's our expectation was to play against. Who did they beat? Revival? They beat
they beat Maryville.
Maryville, yeah.
And
We
Evil
expected,
Geniuses, actually.
Yeah, that's actually like we expected to play against Maryville, right?
Yeah. I was looking forward to that actually because I think that you and Chippies are the two best top laners at the moment.
Yeah, I was looking forward to playing against Chippies. You know, I scrimmed against him when he just arrived to ANEW, I think it was. Yeah, when he just arrives to Maryville facility, you know, they play or wherever they play from. Sorry, yeah. Maryville. Yeah. Anyways, I played against them, and we quick 2-0'd them. You know, we just beat them very, very quick, and I'm like, wow, is this it? But I know he was like jet lagged, and he was still like, you know, adjusting to things. But I'm seeing his games, and I was looking forward to playing against him. Yeah, but, I mean, it happens. Yeah. Revival deserved it, in my opinion. They played really well that series. Absolutely. It looked like, and I was just also looking forward to playing against them. But yeah, it was just unlucky for them.
Yeah, Sudsy's got some pretty good hands in the mid lane. He's not bad.
Yeah, it seems like it. I was expecting more of the weird picks that they were pulling off. Like I was like, well, I just knew we were gonna win. I think when they blind picked Camille.
Yeah.
And what did they banned Vayne? I think they banned Vayne and another pick.
They kept Renekton up.
Yeah, they left Renekton up, and I just I knew we're just gonna win this game in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The moment
Cubby and I watching it said the exact same thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's like it felt like I don't know, they maybe were overconfident, like blinding Camille like that. But like usually when it happens and you don't blind pick the right, or you don't ban the right champs, it's like a really big issue. Yeah, they banned Vayne and Jax, I remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just knew like this game was gonna be won in 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and we did win that quick, so it was nice.
All right, Viper, but before we start to wrap things up and let you go, we do have a question. As thanks to one of our buddies, Raafaa, we kind of have a battle now going for Five Fire's heart. So Smax and I have to make a pitch to Aiden about which one is the better co-host of this podcast. And we're just wondering if you could give us like any tips that we could use. As we're still thinking about like what to do here to make sure that Five Fire picks one of us.
So it's okay.
Also, if you link me your PayPal after that, you know, put in a good word.
Yeah, it's a hard one, man. It's hard. I'm not too good at comparison. All right, you've both been great. Thank you guys for having me. But I'm not sure. Depends who pays more here. Who pays more?
Someone's been through media training before. That's good.
People pleaser out here.
No, I've been watching Aiden actually. His interviews and stuff. He's been great. He's really good at interviews. And
he is.
I'm just surprised he's not like, you know, an academy or like just it's. I just hope we see Aiden, you know, develop more. See him go towards the next steps.
We're a bit surprised as well, but hey, he keeps on winning, and you guys keep on, you know.
Yeah, I just respect it. He's still trying. He's still pushing his hardest. That's all that matters for a player. Is as long as you're still top tier, then keep it up.
Yeah. All right. I have a requested question that I got during the show. Are you ready? It says, are you willing to do a Riven 1v1 with Raafaa or give him lessons?
No. Oh God. Is it? I assume that's from Raafaa.
Yes, that is indeed from Raafaa.
It's from Raafaa. Okay, when the time comes, I'm down to. I'll give them both. All right, I'll give them both.
I mean, the 1v1 is going to be the lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll play the 1v1. I'll beat him, you know, before the 1 minute mark, and then we'll I can teach him a couple things on Riven. Why not?
All right, awesome. All right, he'll be very happy to hear that. I'm not gonna tell him. I'm just gonna like let this air, and he'll have to react to it live. So, okay. We'll see what he says tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the show, Viper. It's been a real fun time talking to you. Is there anything you wanna advertise or plug on our way out, on our way to close the show?
Honestly, thank you guys so much. I've had fun doing this. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Just honestly, shout out to the people that honestly not many people are aware that I'm playing on an amateur team right now. So it's those like those people will know very soon. So shout out to those that are keeping up with me and seeing what's up. I'll be back in LCS soon. I know it. Just taking my time with it.
Yeah.
And my family, they've always been watching everything. My family, friends, they will not. Some friends have keeping up, but my family always watches everything, and they will watch this as well. So shout out to them.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, that's a good support system to have.
Yeah.
And a lot of talent in that family too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, if you're here as a V1per fan and you want to know where you can watch his games, he will be playing against Barrage on Saturday, and I'm sure Barrage will be streaming that one. If not, it'll be on the Cup channel. One of those two, you'll be able to find it there, and that's the day 3 in Challengers Uprising. Whoever wins that match actually automatically qualifies for playoffs. So definitely gonna want to check that one out.
Yep.
Yeah, when this goes live, it'll be 2 days from then. So we're recording this Wednesday. This releases tomorrow on Thursday, and then the games are on Saturday. So definitely check that out. And Cubby and I's faces will also be there. So if you're fans
unfortunately
of the two
for
of
everyone
us,
else, yes.
If you're fans of the two of us, then yeah.
Will it be on the Academy channel streamed? Right?
Not Saturday, Sunday.
On weekends. Yeah, because they have LCS, so they don't want to have competing Riot branded streams, which makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it'll be on the Challenge Uprising channel, which
it was a nice
pretty
boost for you guys for the Monday, Tuesday. So
yeah, and the games that are played on Monday, Tuesday, also those will be again on the Academy channel, which is really cool. Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it from this episode of the Proving Grounds Pod. Episode 5 with V1per is a wrap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can follow us on all the audio platforms. We've got Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and of course Twitch if you're watching this live, and YouTube. You can follow us all there, and we have our Twitter. And please be sure to follow V1per on his Twitter as well, which is going to be on the screen. And he's got a stream, which is just /V1per, which is very cool. That's badass. But yeah,
5
thanks
characters.
thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.